Welcome to the best gambling podcast on the internet. And you know what? Every time I say that, it becomes more of a reality. Last week we arrived at 6K, and then this week we're already at 7K. So I want to say thank you to the subscribers. I want to say thank you to the haters too, because I have a group of maybe 5 to 7 haters on every single video. They'll come and just they'll leave hate. Like they're not even making sense anymore. They'll be like, "Oh, are you recording from your grandmother's house?" And they'll say things like that. But that's when you know the podcast is growing, when the haters are starting to grow, especially the ones that are dedicated. I got to tell you this story while I'm waiting for people to come into the room. There was this guy named Cards Fan 420. He changes his name a lot, but he followed me on the old podcast, and he always hated me, and he always would throw hate. So, anyways, I blocked his name. Like I don't block people too easy, but like after like the 20th hate comment on one video, I'm just about okay. I'm gonna like just hide your channel. He created like over the past 3 or 4 years, he's created 5 or 6 different names, all kind of the same, like Cards Fan 420. So I thought like that was pretty funny. That might be my biggest hater. And then someone dug up information on him like that he literally can't see. So like I felt bad because I used to tease him and stuff, like because he literally cannot see. He's blind. So I don't know how he analyzes football. I don't know what he makes of football, but dude, I don't want to have sympathy for him because everyone's got a tough life. But my God, like imagine not being able to see. So it's just sometimes you got to thank your blessings, you know. You got to just say like thank you God, or thank you whatever happened, so I can at least be able to see. What's up, guys? I'm gonna take the Patreon questions first. I'll get to those first. I'm going to go to my Patreon, patreon.com/the Lawson Show. We'll start with that, and then I'll work to your questions on the live stream. That should be good. Sorry, excuse me. I had Mickey D's for lunch today. I was living wild. Um, just want to say what's up to all the people in the room. Uh, let's get this. Okay, so let me get to this question. Michael Rodriguez asked, when are this week's picks going to be up? I always upload my money bets, the things that I will be betting normally Friday night. Friday after this stream, I normally upload them to Patreon, just so you guys know. Okay, I'm going to get to this question from Jordan Paisley. Would you take the Colts on the money line? I know the public is still thinking this is the Ravens of last year, but statistically, the Colts are just about even with the Ravens. I also hear there's some big time shark money coming in on the Colts this week. Well, are you going to go bet the Colts Super Bowl to win the Super Bowl because a few sharks bet 500K during the offseason? That happened too. Like, listen, let's not even get to the Colts game yet. Let's just get to what you just said. You're letting outside noise affect you. You're starting to hear footsteps. You're not having full confidence in what you're seeing. And whenever you start thinking like that, it gets dangerous. You start second guessing yourself. You start wondering, okay, is this the time for me to go all in? Is this the time for me to make a big bet? Stop worrying about what other people are doing. Unless you legit, unless you really think these games can be fixed and you think the amount of money put on a team means that Vegas will fix it, then I don't know what you're worrying about. Why are you questioning yourself? Why do you think sharks are better than you? This can just be rich people throwing 500K at a game. It does happen. I have a few rich friends. They're the worst gamblers ever. But you want to know what? They throw big money. One put 15K on the Bills to win the Super Bowl. Does that mean he's a shark? Does that mean you should go back to Bills? No, it doesn't. It just means this man made a decision based on what he's seeing, and it doesn't mean what he's seeing is accurate at all, because Vegas will be eating that 15K that my friend put on the Bills. So let's be realistic about this, and let's start just calming down a little bit, because honestly, maybe I'm making mountain out of a molehill, but you know what I'm saying? You can't listen to the outside voices and outside forces when you're thinking about a bet, because this game is hard already. You can do everything right. You can cross every T, and then the Rams could have 4 turnover against the Dolphins and you lose your game. You can make a great bet and still lose. That's why we have to spread money around, have 3 or 4 money picks a week, bet singles, don't put all your money in one basket. This is just a long rant that I've been waiting to go on. But, like, guys, calm down. Stop listening to outside voices. It doesn't matter if some shark put 200K on a game. It doesn't matter. I think the Ravens beat the Colts. I have to be realistic about it. To get to your question, I don't care that someone put a lot of money on the Colts. I don't think that makes them a better team than the Baltimore Ravens. And yes, I know what you're saying, that the Baltimore Ravens are vulnerable because that offense hasn't picked up the high gear. That offense hasn't been dynamic. And we know Lamar Jackson is really, really struggling to throw the rock. There's no other ways to put it. But I don't think the Colts are ready for this. I'm not talking about Baltimore's offense. I'm talking about this Ravens defense. And I think this Ravens defense has actually improved a lot. And I think they'll be able to stop this Colts running game. If you can stop this Colts running game, you can beat them. And I think people are a little bit too hot and heavy on the Colts. People criticize me for being hot and heavy on the Buccaneers, even after they took big losses against the Saints and the Bears. Listen, I understand that we have to play the long game, but I'm not all that crazy about the Colts. And I think you can stop them. And I think their defense is a bit overrated, especially the secondary of the Colts. I do think the secondary can be had. The pass rush has been good this year, so we haven't noticed. But I don't feel like this is an elite pass rush either. It's a good defensive line, but it's not anything special. It is an interesting game. And the Ravens aren't at their high peak. But you don't want a great team to be at their high peak November 6th. Yes, they should be starting to come into that. You want to hit that high peak November 30th. I just wonder, is there anything left that Indianapolis is going to give us this year? Is there a little bit of extra spice that's been added? And it's interesting because the line has been moving. So, like you said, money has been put on the Colts, but that doesn't change anything. I'm actually more likely to bet that Ravens game now than when it opened -2 or -3. Okay. I'm going to get to the rest of the Patreon questions. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Okay, fuck, I clicked off of it. Let me get back to it. My bad, guys. I'm going to make sure I get to everyone's question. Last week I missed a few. My bad about that. So let's get to, I'm just bringing back up these questions from Patreon. Make sure you subscribe to the Patreon if you want to see every single bet I make. Okay. Jesse asked, are you confident with the Steelers -13.5? I know it's a lot of points, but it's Dallas. And should the over for the Detroit game be revised with Stafford out? No, because I don't think the situation has changed with the Vikings defense. And Stafford, he's going to come in. He's going to play Sunday. I am a little bit worried about it. Don't get me wrong. But I think Stafford's going to come in and play good ball. Maybe the over-unders do lower, but I don't think that changes my opinion drastically. You guys were going nuts when you saw the Stafford news. Listen, it is concerning. It's something we have to look at, but I don't think it changes anything. Although the more I think about it, the more I think Minnesota's going to win and cover that game. The more I stew on it and look at if Minnesota, when I'm looking at Minnesota's motivational level, I feel like Minnesota is very, very motivated for it. And am I confident in the Steelers -13.5 against Dallas? No, yes, but I don't, guy, like one thing you should know from me, I have never had the philosophy of taking teams with 13, 14, 15, 16 points. Like, did I take the Chiefs last week? Of course I did. But did I take the Jets against the Bills? No, because I'm just not a big fan of that many points. And I feel like there's other meat to pick this week. Are we that desperate for meat on the bone that we need to take Pittsburgh minus 13.5? And some are saying Cooper Rush is going to be better than the DiNucci guy. I'm not sure. I don't know enough about it, but I just feel like there's other meat to pick. And at a certain point, you have to ask yourself, well, hasn't this podcast won a lot of money out of the Steelers already? Aren't we due to lose? There's just a lot that can happen in terms of garbage points where Dallas could keep that close. I was happy to hit the Green Bay bet, but I'm not giving myself credit. I didn't take Green Bay -7, but I took Green Bay -3. So if you see a game like that, that Steelers line has moved quite a bit. And now the line has increased quite a bit. So for me, it's good to hit these lines early. Okay, let me make sure I get through all of these. Russell Wallace, hey John, I need a four team pick 'em parlay in NFL. I get my money back if 3 legs come in. Okay, Giants. Seattle, these are all against the spread. Tampa and Baltimore. But that's just off the top of my head. I some of those spreads I'm not absolutely in love with. Like I want to put the college fund on some of them. Okay, let me get to the questions on the community page. Then I'll start getting the questions in the chat. If I missed your question in the chat, make sure you just write it again. Change it a little bit so YouTube doesn't think you're spamming. But let me just get to these questions in the community section before I get to the ones on the live chat. My bad about that. Okay. Let me. How do I get to community? Okay, community. Okay, I don't know if you guys see my posts in community, and also one thing you guys need to do: turn on your notifications. I have noticed YouTube has been screwing me a little bit with these notifications, and not everyone's getting them. But I want to give credit to my YouTube viewers, especially the old subscribers. We're up to 7K. We almost went up we went up 1,000 in a week, right? Wasn't it just last week we arrived at 6K? Now we're already up to 7K. I mean, dude, we're going to be up to 10K by the end of the year. And honestly, that I owe you guys something for that. The karma is going to bring us lots of money. I know that. Okay, good night, Munchie asks. Hello, John. I hope you do well this weekend. And my question was, where do you get the ideas from? What do you mean, where do I get the ideas from? We look at the games each week. We look at the spreads each week, and then we attack it, and then we find out how we're going to plunder money from this machine that is Vegas. That's where I get my ideas from. I get my ideas sometimes from you guys. Like you guys were right about the Giants defense this year. Sometimes we get a lot of BS in the comment section, but the comment section here is pretty strong compared to what we see on other dwellings on the internet. So I get my ideas from the games. I get my ideas from watching film. I'm not a big stat guy, although I'll use stats sometimes when something's ridiculous, like people saying the Dolphins are great because they won with Tua getting 98 passing yards. Sometimes stats can help you prove a point, but I feel like it's all eye test. That's where I get my ideas from. If you're talking about other ideas, then they come from books. Eric Alicia, any insight on Florida versus Georgia? I got Florida to win. Not a lot of science. I did look into that game for you. I did prep for that question a little bit. I got Florida to win. John G 291. Do you think the Miami Dolphins are a playoff team, or are they still a year away? Yeah, they're still a year away. I just hope the hype cools down on Miami a little bit so we can get back to betting them to cover spreads. And so we can start getting Miami +7, +8, +9, right where we like them, right where we take the money from Vegas. Right now, there's going to be a little bit too much hype with the Tua stuff. And also, I think Tua is going to hold the Dolphins back. I know Dolphins fans, they're getting behind Tua. They're saying, oh, he's the future. But just last week, they were mad that Tannehill got benched. So at a certain point, we have to be realistic. And this Miami team, the weakness is the offensive line. They can't block anyone. And you wonder what a young quarterback does with that. So Tim, I gave the 4-pick parlay for the week, but I'll give another one later. Okay, let me keep getting to these questions. Liberal hater, Jesus, great job, Lawson. Not throwing shade, but people churn in to hear you because of your passion and delivery. Uh, he's saying, don't get me wrong, I like Gift, but he brought the energy down sometimes. Yeah, I think the show's better. Don't get me wrong. Gift brought some good knowledge, but honestly, I think the show's better. I think it's more up tempo, and I think the numbers prove that. The watch time is up, the watch duration is up, the subscribers are up astronomically, the money is up that's coming in. Yeah, so I think the show's in a lot better space than it was. But also, the fans have rallied around me, and numbers speak for themselves. You know, when two people have a split, like for instance, like when Charlie Weiss left Bill Belichick, when Charlie Weiss, like he got an NFL head coaching job, then the Notre Dame job, when Charlie Weiss left Bill Belichick, you kind of knew who was the better man at that point, even though people were praising Charlie Weiss like crazy. So I think numbers don't lie, and this podcast is absolutely through the roof. Cab's back. Are you answering any more Patreon questions? Leave your question there if you're on my Patreon list, and I'll get to it. Yeah, I am. Dutry, what do you think about the two college games tonight? Sorry, man. He was asking this for Thursday, and I didn't see it. I got a bet for you guys tonight, though. I got a good soccer bet for you guys tonight. I'm not going to give you both of them because they're on my Patreon, but I'm going to give one free play soccer bet before we exit here tonight. So make sure you stay tuned for that. This is it's a good one. It's definitely a good one. John, someone's asking me, John Nuzulu is asking me, what do you think of Arizona over Miami? Yeah, I like Arizona over Miami, and I feel confident about it, but I do believe in some facets of this Dolphins team. I like Brian Flores. I like the defense. I like Devontae Parker, but I feel like this this Dolphins offense, they're going to struggle. They're just going to struggle, and I don't see any if ands, or buts about it. Is the defense going to get 2 touchdowns like last week? Are they playing Jared Goff this week or Kyler Murray? And listen, a win's a win, and it's a great win for the Miami Dolphins, but I think people are dwelling too much on last week. And I got a problem with it. Okay, so yeah, I think Arizona wins and covers. Maybe I got a little bit of a head rush when I was analyzing these games because the Miami fans. But I think it's pretty safe. Arizona wins and covers. Charlie Chips, do you have a unit size, or do you go all in? Sometimes I go all in. Sometimes I'll be honest. Where in the first quarter of that Buccaneers game, I went all in on the Buccaneers, and I was sweating quite a bit. I wasn't comfortable. I don't like going all in, but sometimes when I see a bet, I go all in. I'll give you another example when I went all in. It was a future bet. It was Brazil to win the Copa America. I went all in. I made a lot of money, but it wasn't the funnest experience in my life, and I was literally losing hair. I told the story last week. Like, my friend's house in Brazil was hot as it was, but I was sweating profusely those games, and I honestly needed to take something to calm my ass down because I've never gotten that worked up over a group of games in my life. I like the future bets. I think going all in with future bets is really smart, but no one wants to do that because they want to get that quick nut. They want the nut Monday morning after the Sunday game. So, but yeah, I go all in. If there's a game where I see they made a mistake, like Minnesota against the Giants last year, week 4 or 5, I will tell you guys to go all in. And you need to stay ready for that moment because that moment can come anytime. Unfortunately, I did make a bet this week. I did bet the Packers Tuesday, right after I did the Vegas spread show with you guys. I bet the Packers -3, but I didn't go all in. I didn't have the balls to, and I regret it right now because I knew it was money. I knew that -3 point spread was too much. Go back and watch that Vegas spread video. You heard it in my voice, but I got a little bit wary about it. So sometimes we miss them, but when I see it, I'm going to let you guys know. I'm going to let you guys know. Okay, let me get to the rest of the. Let me check the Patreon to see if the guy left a question. Okay, let me see. Let me see. Fuck, dude, this Patreon has a fucking terrible. It's just a terrible system. Okay. I don't think he did. Okay, so we're on to the YouTube questions. I'm still on the YouTube ones. Anthony Di Matteo, J Law, awesome as usual. Thank you, my friend. 8 weeks in, and I still don't see anyone on the same level as the Chiefs in the AFC. I'm still not sold on Pittsburgh. I agree with what you're saying, but no one was sold on Pittsburgh besides this podcast. I predicted them to win that division against the Ravens. I predicted a renaissance year from Big Ben, and I feel like Pittsburgh can do enough to literally scare the Chiefs because that Tomlin defense is playing good and they play good zone coverage, and you have to keep Mahomes in front of you. You have to make him beat you in the red zone. You have to say, all right, we're going to give up 400, 500 yards, but we have to win in the red zone. And also you have to be able to rush the passer. We saw Tennessee. They couldn't do shit last year because they couldn't rush the passer against Mahomes. Pittsburgh's getting a good pass rush at the moment. Listen, a dark horse is the Titans if they get their stuff together. Some are mentioning the Colts, but I think the Titans at the end of the day are a better team than the Colts. And if Mike Vrabel actually starts coaching decent, he doesn't need to coach great. If he coaches decent, I think the Titans find a way to edge out the Colts. And we're looking at the other AFC teams, Buffalo, but they're not playing good enough defense right now. So I don't think we can consider them. And I think you have to consider Baltimore. Although this Baltimore offense might not be high octane enough this year to really blow the Chiefs up, like hurt the Chiefs defense, if you know what I'm saying. So I like Pittsburgh because I feel like Tomlin can make that game slow. He can win time of possession. And Pittsburgh, watch out for them. They're starting to run the ball good. And that's something you need to do against the Chiefs in the playoffs. Let's be realistic. That's how you beat them in the playoffs. You have to run the ball and you have to rush the passer. Pittsburgh's looking like they can do both things. Okay. Nick Resendez. Hey, Lawson, would you put the college fund on the KC -3? Pittsburgh -7 ticket? Yeah. It is a little bit risky, don't get me wrong, because we have to show respect for the Panthers, and the Panthers have pulled plenty of rabbits from hats this year. So we have to take that into account. But the -3 makes me feel comfy. Also, the -7 for Pittsburgh makes me feel comfy. That Pittsburgh-Dallas game opened at -8 or 9. Some of you might have been able to lock in that point spread. Maybe I'm delusional, but I saw that game at Pittsburgh -8, -9. Now what is it up to? Like -14, -13? Yeah, I like that teaser. It just depends what you call on college fund. What are we talking with college fund? Okay. Benny Martinez, what's up, Benny Martinez? Okay, I'm okay. I got through the questions. Now I'm going to get to the live chat. Michael, man, I'm going to get you on in like 10 minutes. I'm going to send the link on Instagram, and I'm going to get to some questions. Okay. Chris McCann, Saints follower here. Money coming on the Saints is glorious. Tampa Bay by 10. I agree with you. I'm not worried about where the money's going. I just think Tampa Bay is the better team. TJ97, Phillip Rivers will throw 2 picks already. I agree. If you stop that Colts run, you're going to get Phillip Rivers, and Phillip Rivers isn't magically drinking what Tom Brady's drinking. Phillip Rivers is an old 40 or 41, whatever the hell he is. Oh, okay, Jared Holly, great content, bro. You're the bomb. I'm agreeing with your max bet Ravens money line. My second bet is Arizona. Do you think I should buy down to -3? Yeah, for your safety. Depends. If you're putting like 100 or 200 on it, I'd say keep out the spread. But if you're really putting, if we're talking like you're putting like a 1K or 5K, something extraordinary, I don't think I don't think buying points is the worst strategy, especially if -3 makes you feel more comfortable. Uh, and if it makes you feel more comfortable, then you should do it, especially if you're feeling comfortable enough to throw big money. Han Solo, man, love your shoes, bro. At John Lawson, thank you. Oh, shows. He meant shows. He meant shows. Thank you. Spencer Smith, over or under Philip Rivers throw 2 picks, even. He's going to throw 2. Tyler Pruitt, how are you feeling about Seattle? I'm feeling glorious about Seattle. And this is the money pick of the week. It is. I've been saying it all week. Seattle. Finally, someone asked about the Seattle Bills game. Someone tell me why I should why I should be gun shy about Seattle. Some people are using the argument that Lawson. This is like last week with the Rams. It's too perfect. But yes, if you follow my Patreon, we won more bets last week. Yes, the Rams loss was frustrating. Do I regret it? No, because my fundamentals were correct. Do I regret bets I lose sometimes? Of course, but not a game like that. Not a game like that. So I saw a lot of fans saying, "Oh no, dude, the Seattle one might be too perfect, man. It might be too perfect. Just lay off it because it's too perfect." No, no, no. If you have that type of attitude, then this game's not for you. If you have the type of attitude because Tampa Bay lost to the Bears and you think I was a madman for picking Tampa Bay against Green Bay, this game isn't for you. I understand being cautious. I'm very cautious. Hell, you guys even see my soccer bets on Patreon. I bet point spreads in soccer. That's how cautious I am. But at a certain point, this is the Wild Wild West. You do have to let the guns go a little bit, and you do have to be aggressive. And I don't see what's so aggressive about Seattle against the Bills this week. I'm not trying to go on a long rant because I have a lot of questions to get to, but let me spell this out. This Bills defense, they've been underwhelming, and they can't really stop the run, and I've been saying it all year. Seattle can play a little bit of bully ball against them, and then that opens up the play action with Russell America Wilson and DK Metcalf. That's going to be some big plays coming from Seattle. And yes, the Seattle defense isn't the greatest thing in the world. I knew the 49ers were down to their fourth or fifth string running back. But Seattle came in and stopped the run against the 49ers. They played bare fronts. They put 8-9 men in the box. That's what they're going to do against the Bills. They're going to force Josh Allen to beat them. And Josh Allen will get some chunk plays. Josh Allen will get some 20, 30-yard scrambles. But you want to know what also Josh Allen will do? He'll turn the ball over 2 times, and Russell turns it over once at most. That's the difference in the game. Playoff football, you can't be giving the ball away cheaply like Josh Allen does. Sometimes the defense will make a great play, and you say, all right, shucks. Okay, they earned that interception. But Josh Allen's turnovers, if you watch them as a whole, they look really cheap. And anyone who's suggesting I do not bet the Seattle Seahawks, I really want you guys to sit and watch the film of the Jets game and of last week against the Patriots. I've went on about it already, but I've watched the 60-minute, every single play of both of those games. I am sure about this. Seattle is a money pick. Steelers are going to be the team that starts 8-0 and finishes only 12-4 and 13-3. If it's good enough for home field advantage, I don't really care. But I feel like Pittsburgh is a team that needs home field advantage. Seattle don't need D. It's the Bills, overrated. JSEP 121. Go like this man's video. It helps with the algorithm. You're right, JSEP. Please hit the like button. Hit the notification button too, because YouTube, with the elections going on this week, like they're pulling some stuff. So just make sure you hit the like button so I show up. Richard Williams, what up, bro? Let's get this, dude. Fuck, man. What the? I don't even know what I hit on Patreon. I'm not seeing the comments. One sec. One sec. I'm having a senior moment. What is going on here? Okay, I'm back. I'm back. Okay. Stephen Lyon, who? Hey, John, let's get some calls in, brother. Yeah, I want to get someone on here. I'm going to get Michael Mann on here real quick. He's a Carolina fan. He's going to come on real quick. Yeah, I should, dude, I always feel guilty about if I don't get to people's questions. I really do. Like, someone sent me a message after I went live last time saying, dude, you missed my question. I actually felt bad about it. Although you could send, if I missed your question, send in a super chat for like $1, and then I'll be guaranteed to see it. 1 second. Okay. Okay, 1 second. Yo, Mike, I'm gonna send you this on Instagram. So I see you're online, so we should be good. I got my headphones ready. If you want to call in, leave your Gmail. Probably best you send me a message on Instagram. And if you don't have me on Instagram, add me. I don't post the most. I'm not the funnest guy on Instagram. Just so you guys know, I'm not Mr. Fun on Instagram. But I do like talking to you guys. I do respond sometimes. And if you want to come on for a live call in, let me know. Okay, so let me get to some questions. If I missed it, just let me know, guys. Than Win, love you, John Lawson. I love you too, Mr. Win. Cabs back. You think Seattle and Minnesota is a good parlay? Yeah. I'm feeling better about Minnesota as the week goes on. I still let my teaser pick up Detroit, but I'm feeling like Minnesota wins that game by 7 to 10 points. Well, that would eliminate my teaser pick is +11, but I do like Minnesota. The more the week's going on, they looked really focused. 626 lunatic, give the man likes, please. Yeah, hit that like button. Like, and I don't even like begging for it. If you guys know what I'm saying, I'm not even begging. It's just a part of YouTube. Like, that's how the videos show up, and that's how we got the 7,000. So I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys. Focus Sports says, "What's up? What's up, Focus Sports?" K Trail, how do you feel? I'm feeling good. Oh, okay, he's asking me, how do I feel about the Ravens -6.5 over the Pats week 10? I love that. If you want to get in that early bet, I would love it. You could get screwed by injuries, but early betting is the way, especially because I think the Patriots are going to look like dog shit against the Jets. Terrence YY Young, can you give me all the upsets this weekend? You've been on point all season. I don't have that off the top of my head. I did do a video off that. Go check out that video. That upset video is only at 5K. Go share that video. But let me think. If I had to give you one upset, Jets over Patriots, no. But I do think the Jets cover that. I do think the Jets cover that +7. Let me think. Let me look at these games and get back to you. Oh, I like the Giants against the Washington Football Club, although that's not the biggest upset in the world. Upland, Lawson, do you have a link? What, do you want a link to the Patreon? Let me leave a link to the Patreon. I think it's the link to the Patreon's in the description if that's what you're looking for. Richard Williams, do you like Minnesota this week? Yes. Tom Hood, Packers -3 was easy money. Yes, based early better. Tom Hood, I did get that early bet in, but now I'm sat with regret that I didn't bet more, that wasn't all in. Because we can go back and watch that video. We should have been all in. I was feeling good about it, and I was telling you, like, the 49ers were walking wounded, and it's just got worse as the week went on. Michael Rodriguez, all in for the Bucs to win the Super Bowl? Yes, sir. I am, and it's been my pick since the beginning. Dude, they're going to get through the NFC. It's just a matter of this AFC, and I'm seeing some pretty good football in the AFC. When you look at the Chiefs, Ravens, Steelers right now, and maybe I'm a little bit high on the Ravens. But if they come in and handle business in Indy, I think people will understand what I say about not underestimating the Ravens. And I know everyone's excited about Seattle and the NFC, but do they really have the secondary to stop Brady? Do they really have the pass rush to bother Brady? I'm not. I'm not certain. I'm not certain about that. Okay. Our man Magnat, Ravens or Colts, Ravens. Muhammad Zumari, 18K last week, biggest underdog week of all time. Hey, this is the home of the upset. This is the home of the underdog. I mean, this year, what we've done with upsets it is absolutely brilliant. When we got Vegas on that Denver New England one, I even told you it was a money pick for Denver to cover, and I told you about the upset. That was a glorious time. Also, that Raiders against the Saints, like those were easy upsets to get. Normally, when you get an upset, you're sweating bullets to the last minute, but those were easy. Victor Boo, love your video. Money, 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 money. Upland, Lawson, let's go, bro. Let me on. I want to talk. Yo, Upland, send me a message on Instagram. Did you see my Instagram? Send me a message on Instagram if you want to come on. So I'll get you guys on. Want to talk to you guys for sure. And if I missed your question, just leave it again below. Chris says, hi, Lawson. What's up, Chris? Joseph says, Giants are pure trash. Yes, they are, but the Washington football team's pure trash as well. So in a toilet bowl, someone's going to flush. Excuse me. Jeez. Raiders. Yes, I love the Raiders this week. Although it's hard for me to consider them that big an upset, but I feel like every week Vegas says the Raiders are underdogs. We pick the Raiders, we win money, and then the next week they're still underdogs. Raiders are going to take care of business against the Chargers. The Chargers and the way they blow leads is really pathetic. But I've been saying it all year. I feel like this Chargers defense is extremely overrated. Thomas Maggio, you like Broncos +4? Hesitantly. I picked Atlanta to win, Broncos to cover. I think it's a one possession game. We don't know what Broncos to expect. And we have to remember when we've won big money betting the Broncos, when I've won big money betting the Broncos were at home in Mile High. I don't trust them to travel. The Broncos are very inconsistent. We say that a lot in this league, but the Broncos are very inconsistent. Pablo Escobar says, let's get that money. Yes, that comment fits your name. Cowboys is money, money, money. Yeehaw. Tell us why the Cowboys win. I want to hear that argument. Okay, one sec. Someone's asking for the soccer pick. The soccer pick is I'll write it. This is Mike, 1 second. I'm writing something. Cruzeiro win or draw against Botafogo SP. Win and draw, no bet. This is the pick. So you want to pick Cruzeiro to win, and you want to make sure you go. If it's a draw, your money gets refunded. Draw, no bet. This is Brazilian Serie B. Now, not Serie A, not Serie A, Serie B. Okay, I'm going to get a guest on here.
Hey,
what's up, Mike?
I'm in. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
Okay, been a long week. Glad to be on the show.
Yeah, dude, it's been a long week. Although, yeah. So what's going on with the Panthers? You feeling upset this week?
Bro, we're gonna get pissed on Sunday. Oh my gosh, it might be an all-out disaster, dude. Someone in the chat was asking if the Chiefs will cover a 3-point spread. They're gonna cover that 3-point spread.
They are. I like the Pittsburgh -7, -3 teaser. That might be the teaser to buy. That dude was onto something, actually. That sounds good to you, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even for that Panthers game, even if like the Panthers might keep it close. They might keep it within 7, just because they'll do that. But at the end of the day, Mahomes is going to be more clutch than Teddy, because Teddy will play for their team in the 2-minute drill. He absolutely sucks in the 2-minute drill.
No, he was like this with Minnesota too, and a lot of that's because their run game's a limit.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Like, I would love to see his passer rating during like fourth quarter comebacks potentially, because I swear he's throwing at least 3 or 4 picks in those situations.
Yeah, I believe it, and a lot of the problem is it's just his arm. I think that's what it is, because for some reason these teams, they don't clamp down on him. They actually played like soft zone against him. For me, against Teddy, I would just man up, press man to man all day. But maybe that's the Buddy Ryan and the old school. Like, I wouldn't let Teddy Bridgewater throw against zone. Like, I understand, like, if Christian McCaffrey was there and you had to worry about your run fits. I mean, Christian McCaffrey's coming back, so I mean that's going to make a difference. But yeah, dude, the quarterback disparity is too much, and that's why it's coming.
You know who else needs to just who else teams just need to like play press man to man against? The Saints, because I am so sick and tired of seeing the Saints win games because they play all these zones and Breeze just checks down and gets 5-yard outs every play. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
Like, at a certain point, you gotta just put your balls on and play man to man. If they beat you over the top, fine, but he's not going to do that. Just play press and see what happens.
That's what I'm saying, and it gets frustrating, and that's why you always saw like people from that Ryan lineage, like with the Greg Williams lineage, of that same lineage, they'll come in and they'll make a difference really quick with defenses because they actually man up. And you're right, because think about it from this perspective. I don't want to trash Drew Brees because we've already done that. The man really can't throw more than 30 yards. Everyone knows that already. But, like, listen, let's say Mike Thomas is even out on the field if he blesses everyone with his presence. Like, there's no one with, like, pure speed that will really, really kill you on that receiving core, too. So I don't see the reason not to man up. Maybe because they're worried about Kamara, but at this point, Kamara is worth dedicating a nickel or safety. Yeah, like, at this point, the way the Saints play.
Like, yeah, if I was playing the Saints, like, the Panthers game plan against the Saints was the worst I've ever seen. They literally were playing 3-man rushing and backing all the way up, like, basically playing prevent the whole game. It was ridiculous. And as a result, Breeze would just take his time, and every Saints drive was just 15 plays, 7 minutes, touchdown. It was so disheartening to watch. But hopefully Todd Bowles puts his balls on this week and, like, just brings the house against them.
I think he will.
Todd Bowles will do that.
Like, and is it me just being a Tampa Bay homer? But the more this week, I'm not even a homer. I'm not even a Buccaneers fan. But everyone knows maybe I rate him a bit too highly. Is it just me being a homer? But as this week goes on, and I'm not even saying the Antonio Brown stuff is getting me hyped. Like, don't get me wrong. I want to go watch Antonio Brown play. But is it just me? Or does this feel like a money pick for Tampa Bay, even with the 4 or 5?
See, I want to, but like I know how I would love to see the Bucs whoop the Saints, but the Saints always find ways to win these games that they shouldn't win. Like, and Tampa Bay, Tampa Bay's stacked, but you know what their one position of need is really on offense? They need a kicker, because they've lost so many games. I'm not playing. They've lost so many games over the years because they've missed the game-winning kick, and the Saints have won so many games just like that. That's how they beat us. That's how they beat the Chargers. So, like,
don't they have Cairo Santos now?
I don't even know who they have.
I think they got a Brazilian guy. They got one of the Brazilian guys. He's better than Aguayo. Remember Aguayo? Oh, yeah. They drafted him in like the 1st or 2nd round or some crazy shit.
He kept the Panthers in the game one time. He missed like 4 kicks. It was ridiculous.
Imagine if you were betting that.
He did kick the game winner against us, but oh man.
And how about the Raiders? How about these Raiders, man? And that game against Cleveland was more dominant than people think. I'm sure you're watching
fantasy. He was killing it.
Yeah, dude, you were just eating. And Carr, he's actually playing better football now. Like, I don't think Carr's going to choke like last year. Like, remember when he choked against the Jets and Titans? I think it might have been back-to-back weeks where he just didn't show up. But let me just say, Carr is actually playing better, more disciplined football this year. This Raiders team is serious, man.
Yeah,
They're serious.
I like watching the Raiders. I hope they go far in the playoffs, or at least make it past the divisional round, because they deserve a winning season. Speaking of the Jets, though, you think the Jets are going to get a win?
Yeah, I think you guys talking about the Jets not getting a win are crazy. Although, I respect how disorganized this team is. So I know where you're coming from, and the talent is low. But, dude, there's some shit teams this year. There's some really bad teams.
In my opinion, they have two gateways to get a win. They play the Browns at some point, and wouldn't that just be the most Browns thing to do ever, to find a way to lose to the Jets?
Yeah, because they lose turnover battles. So you can lose a game easily.
And then, the other way I could see the Jets getting a win is if, the Patriots, Patriots, Dolphins, and Bills just all come together and conspire and agree to give the Jets a win just so they don't get Trevor Lawrence. Especially if Belichick is out of the playoffs, I could totally see on that.
Mike, the Jets were not that far off from beating the Buffalo Bills.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
in their own stadium. I'm just saying, those teams are not quality.
They play the Patriots on Monday night this week, so.
Yeah, I think the Jets are going to cover. I think the Jets are going to make that a close game.
So 7-point spread?
Yeah, and listen, even last week, the Bills, I'm really sick of the Bill talk. Can I be honest about it though? I don't know if there's a more overrated team in this league right now. I'm sure someone would throw Tennessee at me, and that's fine. But I don't know if there's a more overrated team in this league right now than the Buffalo Bills. And I don't know if it was because people shat on them for 15, 20 years. They feel like they have to make it up. But is it just me, or is this Bills team extremely overrated? And my Seahawks money pick is at the right time.
Who they play last week?
They played the Patriots, and Cam Newton fumbled running into the end zone as they pounded the living hell out of the Bills.
Yeah, okay. I remember they were playing very well to start the year. They were pretty much having their way with teams. But yeah, these last couple of weeks, they have not looked good at all. And that you're right. They could have easily lost the Jets and Patriots if they had just not gotten stupid.
They really should have. And yeah, the Seattle money pick is right on, right? I'm on the money on that.
See, but Seattle keeps games close, so it's hard to anticipate. But they normally do win close games. So if you think the final score could easily be 25-23 Seattle, and Seattle just kicks a game with a field goal and the Bills cover. If it goes to -1 or -1.5 for Seattle, then I'll feel very confident betting it.
I might just go money, but you're right.
Yeah, there you go.
And I heard Mike Florio on Pro Football Talk saying something today. I'll get your opinion on that. He says he thinks the Seahawks are sick of playing close games because they were able to put the boots to San Francisco last week. I'm not buying into that. I'm not letting that enter my analysis, because you're right, because the Seahawks paid for it against Arizona, because they could have put that game away 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. Even against Minnesota, they had no business winning.
Yeah. They let teams hang around. And part of it is just that I think what happens is, they'll go up by 14 points. And then Pete Carroll's all right, we're up 14. Let's settle down. Let's run the ball a little bit. But he doesn't anticipate that his defense stinks. So then they let teams back into games. I think that's why they kind of always win close.
Yo, and can I just say something too that was really bothering me? The NFL had no business playing that game last night. And
with the COVID?
Dude, they had no business. The COVID for San Fran.
Yeah, that's sketchy.
I saw Monday they already lost 6 players, not because they tested positive, but because they were close to people. It really was sketchy. And especially since we've been moving games to Tuesday all year this year, I really felt like that was sketchy.
Mm-hmm. And even if the COVID's fine, you couldn't have just done San Francisco a favor and move it to Tuesday night so they get some players back, because that was not a primetime worthy game. That was Green Bay versus the 49ers practice squad. It would have been better for everybody if they just moved it.
I have to respond to someone in the live chat right now. One sec. Okay, Steve Marietta is saying, okay, I lost a lot of money on that Rams-Dolphins game. I'm surprised you haven't had much to say about it. I went on a 10-minute rant about it, and I said, listen, firstly, you look at that game, it was a freak game, it was an anomaly. Not trying to take away responsibility. But secondly, do I feel bad about betting that game? No, I really don't. Tua put up 98 passing yards for heaven's sakes. And Jared Goff, he finally exploded. Okay. I've been prefacing all year. Okay, eventually, like Jared Goff, he's gonna just pull a Kirk Cousins. But it finally happened. But even if Jared Goff just completely crapped the bed, which he did, the Rams still could have won that game. Not using excuses, but that's why we bet 3 or 4 games a week and not put our money on one. Or I hate when you guys put like $700 on a 16 parlay. I feel like going through the computer screen and shaking your head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't even do parlays, but yeah, you're right, dude. Honestly, I think the lesson we need to take from that game is just never bet on Jared Goff again. Because you can't, unless he plays like a really bad deep pass rush, you can't anticipate him. Because he can crap and fall apart at any moment.
Yeah, and like, listen, and there's bets I'll make where I look back and I said, like, dude, you made that bet because you were bored. Or maybe you're just wrong. And sometimes that happens and you have to adjust and move on. But that wasn't one of them. And then you're right about Goff. It's just there's so many inconsistent teams in this league that it's eventually you have to make 3 or 4 bets a week. And it's tough because, like, listen, I really felt like one I really got wrong this year. We've been good this year, but one I got wrong this year that really rubbed me the wrong way was that Bears Rams game. I was really pissed about it. I was just. And then the Bears come in and they can't even block anyone. And it's like, okay, we understand bad offensive lines. You're a Panthers fan. I'm a Vikings fan. We've seen the worst that have come. But, like, it looks like they weren't even prepared. Like, and that's the part that bothered.
Yeah, that can't. One I do disagree with you with, though, for this week, I kind of disagree with you on that Arizona-Miami game as a money pick. Because I think Miami's defense could actually take away DeAndre Hopkins. They got 2 decent corners over there, and we saw what Kyler Murray did without DeAndre Hopkins against us. So, from my thinking, that could happen again. And I don't think the Cardinals' defense is all that good.
No, they're not all that good. But I think this Miami offense is going to have serious problems. They had serious problems last week. And yes, maybe it was a bit of a rush that had on the Arizona money pick. I'm still drawing the conclusions if I'm going to bet that. I'm putting that on Patreon tonight. But, okay, here's one of the things that bothered me about Arizona earlier this year, specifically that Carolina game. They weren't running the ball. And when they run the ball, they're actually pretty decent. But they have to have some sort of balance. And the balance can't be Kyler Murray running around in circles and taking hits for 8-yard gains. Like, we already saw him mess up his shoulder. We already saw that happen. So I understand your point. And the Arizona defense without Chandler Jones, yeah, it doesn't look as good. But, dude, this Miami offensive line is bad. And Fitzpatrick was taking a lot of hits. And, okay, they say Tua can run. I didn't see too much running last week.
And you have to put a curve on how bad that Miami O-line played because you've credited the Rams pass rush and how good they've been. Tua's not playing Aaron Donald this week.
He isn't. But Arizona's got some dudes inside, man. They got the interior.
They let Teddy Bridgewater look like Tom Brady on them.
But sometimes Teddy is better than a quarterback like Tua.
Yeah, okay.
I'll explain because one thing Teddy can do, which he doesn't do great, okay, I'm not saying he's Tom Brady back there, but he actually knows how to move within the pocket. That's why the interior rush isn't all that useful against him. Like Tua, like I saw him like falling into bull rushes last week. I'm not saying it's going to happen again, but I do appreciate the caution about Arizona. I mean, because I get really frustrated when I can't trust Cliff Kingsbury just to keep a run pass balance. I'm not asking him to make this into like the fucking 82 Steelers running it every time. I'm just asking for a little run pass balance. Don't work Kyler Murray in play action. Kyler Murray's nasty in play action, but if you don't run the ball, you can't use it.
Yeah. Back to Teddy Bridgewater, like what you were saying. I've noticed with him that if teams don't get interior pressure, he can be pretty good because edge pressure doesn't bother him. He's very good at stepping up in the pocket. But, we saw Atlanta and Gray Jarrett destroy him with that. And I don't know if you saw, but Chris Jones did something weird with COVID. Like, he was in contact with somebody, and at first it was, like, just confirmed that he was going to be out for the game. And that was when I got most excited. That's when I felt best about our chances of winning because if there's no interior pressure, Teddy's actually going to be decent. But it came out today that he's actually going to be playing. So kind of
this
sad about
COVID
that.
stuff is getting crazy.
Yeah.
And then you get the conspiracy guys. They're going to say, okay, why does Matt Stafford have to miss all the practice? They're letting Chris Jones practice, or was this just?
It was like he was in contact with somebody, and I think he got tested, and he tested negative, and now he's good.
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
I think Stafford actually has it.
But they're letting him play Sunday.
Stafford?
They're letting Stafford, unless there's new news, they're letting Stafford play Sunday.
I don't think so. I just traded him in fantasy because he wasn't going to play Sunday, according to the fantasy thing. And they don't typically rule people out until like the very last minute.
One moment. Like from everything I've been hearing, yeah. No, Stafford's dude. Stafford is bad to lose in fantasy. He's like the perfect.
Well, I got
fantasy.
Aaron Rodgers, so.
Oh, wow, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, isn't it cute to be in a league where you can have Stafford and Aaron Rodgers? Not in the leagues I'm in. Although I don't really play too much anymore. But okay, yeah. So here's the thing: he can't go to practice unless some news changed from yesterday. He can't go to practice, but he can come Sunday for the game. So he's preparing with Zoom. They're saying. So
yeah.
Good luck with that. Yo, any other thoughts on the games before I let you go?
No, I think that's it. Thanks for having me, man. I'll get off so other people can ask questions and stuff. Come on.
Yo, appreciate it. Have a good week.
Yeah, it's always fun. See you, man.
See ya. Okay, leave your questions. I'm going to make sure I get to all your questions. Sorry if I missed your questions, but let's get to it. The parlay show. Yeah, now the parlay show. Everyone loves the parlays. But one game I want on your parlay this week is Las Vegas. I like Las Vegas to win in a cover against the Chargers. It's similar to the Browns game last week. I mean, I know we're not going to get the water. I know we're not going to get the wind, but I think it's going to be similar. Yo, let me just take a second break. I got to just get some more water and use the bathroom. Just give me a second. Okay, here we go. Make sure you guys hit that like button. If you're watching, make sure you hit the like button just so it can show up in the YouTube searches, the algorithms. Han Solo. So Stafford is playing. Yes, Stafford will come in and play Sunday against the Minnesota Vikings. We'll see how important practice is. If it was someone other than a veteran, I would be concerned, but I don't think it's going to have that big an impact. JSAP, are you going to take any over-unders? Probably not. I always do one parlay a week, like a 4 or 5, 6, 16 parlays, just for fun, just to use my mental energy. But one of our fans wrote a great parlay, well, a great teaser. Chiefs -3, Pittsburgh -7. If you're gonna go on that direction and you wanna get a parlay, you wanna get a safe parlay, dude, that's the one you gotta do. Tease that down to Chiefs -3, Pittsburgh -7. I like that, and that was an idea that came from one of the fans. And the more I thought about it, the more I absolutely fell in love with it. Backdoor cover. What you think about Tampa Bay? I think Tampa Bay will win in the cover. The more I feel, I've been on Tampa Bay's bandwagon all year. And listen, we've had some wins, we've had some defeats. There's that Chicago game, but this Tampa Bay team is getting stronger. And when you add Antonio Brown to Tom Brady, they have great chemistry. We already seen them play in New England. That one game was magical. And you have Tom Brady taking this man into his house. It was really, really interesting, and I thought it was actually funny. Some are concerned about it. I'm not really too concerned about it. I actually think it's a good sign for Tampa Bay. I think Tampa Bay is going to be playing at an extremely high level, and I don't know if the Saints team is good enough. Like, let me ask a question to you guys. When you guys watch the Saints team, you say like, "Damn, this is a good football team," or "Damn, like around mid-November, late December, I think they could peak going into the playoffs and be dangerous." I don't feel that way about the Saints anymore. I feel like this dynasty ended when Kyle Rudolph caught that touchdown in the playoffs against them last year to knock them out in the Superdome. I don't think the Saints team is all that good. And this is a legit Tampa Bay squad, maybe the best in the NFL if you don't talk about the Chiefs. So, I mean, good luck for the Saints. I just don't think they have the firepower. And, okay, Michael Thomas is coming back this week, but we've been hearing that for 3 weeks. I believe it when I see him on the fucking field. He really hasn't played too much. Is Saints Bucks game going to go over? I actually think it does. I actually think it does go over. Also, is the Raiders versus Chargers game going over? I'm not as sure about the Raiders Chargers game, Joe. I would go over. Actually, I would go under in that because I think the Raiders defense shows up. We know the Chargers defense, they can't stop anyone in the second half, but I think they'll be at least a little bit better. Juan Naranjo. I bet $600 on a two-team parlay. KC -4.5, Pittsburgh -8. I can't see anything wrong with that. I like it. Devin Sampson, what are we thinking Ravens versus Colts? Baltimore is -1.5. On some lines, it's a pick. On some lines, there's no spread. Just pick the winner. I like Baltimore. I think Baltimore stops that run, and I think they force Philip Rivers to throw. Like everyone's worried, everyone's thinking when everyone's talking about this Ravens Colts matchup, everyone keeps talking Lamar Jackson versus this Colts defense. I'm not looking at that matchup. I'm looking at this Ravens defense against this Colts offense, and I think this Ravens defense stops the run, and then Philip Rivers is going to have to throw it. And I think the Colts are a very vulnerable team if you make them one-dimensional, and I think the Colts are very, very overrated. I feel like the Colts are one of the most overrated teams in this league at the moment, fellas. Okay, let's go. Brian Garza says Baltimore is a pick 'em right now. Yep. I mean, I don't mind that. I don't mind that one bit. Vincent Randazzo, the hardest working man on the internet. Appreciate it. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you turn on those notification buttons. And if you want to repay me for my hard work, share the videos on Facebook. The Jazzy Demon, Parlay Hawks, and Vegas. I like the way you think, sir. Backdoor cover, dogs +2.5 or less, 18-4 against the spread this year. That's interesting. Okay, listen to this. Underdogs +2.5 or less, 18-4 against the spread this year. Well, I know we benefited from that Raiders money pick against the Browns last week. That was easy money. Easy money. I don't know if the Chargers game is going to be as quite as easy. I think we're going to have to sweat it out, but I still like the Raiders in that matchup, for instance. Jonathan Chavez. Even with Trent Brown out, Raiders got depth at O-line. Yeah, I think people are making a big deal about Trent Brown. Like, Trent Brown didn't even play last week. And they were pushing around a pretty good Cleveland Browns front. like you're right, Jonathan. Cleveland. I mean, the Raiders do have good depth at offensive line, and they're just really, really physical, and they have a good mindset. Ryan Charles, what do you think about the Ravens and Colt point spread? I already touched on that. I'm thinking Ravens. Bill McDonald, how do I get that option on the Cruzeiro pick? I think you're a little bit late. Let me see if the game started. But you have to click on more options for that. That's a special one. Yeah, the game already started, man. But if you want to live bet that for Cruzeiro to win, I would suggest it. It's 15 minutes in. Once I get off here, I'm going to be watching that very, very closely. Winner loss. Denver has been money for me, and I got them winning this weekend. Yeah, dude, the Broncos have been just printing money. For me at least. I know some of you guys were hesitant to follow me, but I felt like I got you on board in time for that Chargers win. I know you guys weren't on board for me when I picked them against the Patriots. I feel like this is a week though where we need to exercise caution with the Broncos because they're not at Mile High Stadium. Mile High is one of the few stadiums in this COVID era without fans that actually has a home field advantage because of that altitude. So let's give the altitude a little bit of credit too. Lawson, surprised at how the Giants played the Bucs this past Monday? A little bit. I was surprised, but you guys have been warning me, and you guys have been telling me that this Giants defense is better than advertised. And one thing about this Giants team is they got a big front four. They got a big front three too. They got good guys in the 5-hole, 3-hole. Like they're really big on that front seven, and I think that helps. And they were actually covered. So I actually like the Giants in an upset this week. I really do, guys. Jesus Gallardo. Lawson talked to me about the Seahawks. I've been talking about the Seahawks all show, but I absolutely love the Seahawks this game, and Russell America Wilson. And I think just to give you a quick little hint in this game, I think the Seahawks defense has its weaknesses, but I don't think Josh Allen is going to be able to exploit those. Plus, I think Josh Allen churns over this football more than Russell America Wilson. And I think the Seahawks team, they have to start getting serious. They have to start putting teams away. And I also like the Seahawks run attack against this Bills front seven. That's another reason why what moved it into money pick territory for me. And then we have to be honest about the Bills. The last 2 weeks, the performances have been terrible. I sat through both games. I sat through the Jets game. I sat through the Patriots game. The Bills are playing really, really low quality football. Maybe they respond. Maybe they have a great game. But if you think about it, the Bills haven't played good for 4 or 5 weeks. We saw them get crushed against Tennessee. We saw them get annihilated against the Kansas City Chiefs. Dude, the Bills are very, very overrated, and I think we need to take advantage of it. Carter Flowers, my guy, 7-point teaser, Chiefs and Steelers. Make it 3.5 and 7.5. I love it. I love it. I absolutely love that one. Joe Valdez, Broncos plus 4.5. I think they cover. I picked them to cover, but I will not be betting that game. I don't feel all that confident about it. We already got a lot of money out of Vegas from the Broncos. I think we need to wait a week and respect Atlanta. Sean W., laugh out loud, man. You said football picks last week. No, I didn't. Go to my Patreon. I made money last week. I literally the only bad pick I have was the Rams against the Dolphins. That was a once in a lifetime thing. I seriously, it was a once in a lifetime. I did a Ellsworth. Go check out the upset video. But one easy underdog pick I have right now is Las Vegas. And then if you want to get crazy with an upset, there is a little bit of something calling me to the Jets. I do like the Jets to cover a lot. The more I think about it, I'd love the Jets to cover. I think the Jets could upset the Patriots. Stephen Bradshaw made money, dude, and Dude, who called that Denver against the Chargers game? People were all over the Chargers. People were all over. Let's get it. Can Steelers cover a 2-touchdown spread, dude? Oriole, I'm not a big fan of it, man. I'm not a big fan of that. I think if we're going to attack the Pittsburgh game, we need to tease it down. We need to use the teaser. The teasers are there for a reason. I don't do that video for my health. I do those teaser videos because I think you can exploit it. And I don't want you force betting something like Steelers minus 4.5. 14.5. I don't think that's the worst bet in the world, but it's not something I do. It's not something I do long term, and it's not something that's in my fundamentals. I like taking the points. I like riding with the points. I like the Jets plus 13 against the Bills. Those are the type of things I like. I like the Broncos plus 9 against the Patriots. I love taking the points. I'm always tempted to take the points, but you really can't with Dallas. But, dude, Dallas, they still have Zeke the Freak Elliott, and you have to show a little bit of respect. And Dallas was running the ball decent at times against the Philadelphia Eagles. So anything can happen in this league. Anything can happen. Although I would say, yeah, Steelers probably cover that spread, right? But I wouldn't bet it. I just feel like there's other money to make, man. Zeke questionable for week 9. Well, that's not good. Let's go. Make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe. Make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe, turn on your notifications, leave your questions. I'm scrolling up looking for more questions. Lawson, what do you think about the Bears game? Well, let me think. I think the Bears will cover, but I think Tennessee wins. I think it's going to be a close, hard-fought game. I think it's going to be an interesting game. My problem is this Bears offensive line. And are they going to be competitive? Can they run the ball a little bit? I don't know. I just don't know. And that's what makes the Bears a mystery. If you can explain this offensive line situation to me, if you can explain why Nagy isn't getting more creative in the run game to me, maybe you would shed some light on this game. Then we got Tennessee, a team who's very inconsistent. I was saying this since the beginning of the year, and I was taking lots of hate. Tennessee is very inconsistent. They'll play 2 good quarters, then they'll play 2 terrible quarters. They'll look like the Jets in the other 2. Tennessee's a hard team to trust. I did say on this podcast earlier, I think Tennessee's a better team than the Colts. But Tennessee's at the point where they need to get out here and prove it. And this Bears team, it was a little bit impressive how they looked so bad on offense against the Saints. Yet they were able to send that game into overtime. That's why anyone who's telling you it's a money pick for the Titans to cover, they're delusional. And you have to respect Nick Foles. He pulls rabbits out of hats. I know some of you don't like, I know some of you guys don't like magic. But there's a reason why I gave Nick Foles the nickname Miracle Nick Foles. He pulls stuff out of thin air. And if the Titans leave the Bears hanging around in this game, if it's 20-13 in the fourth quarter, if it's 17-10 in the fourth quarter, the Bears could come in and snatch this one and rob this one, ski mask and all, and completely steal a game where the Bears play terrible again. Have the Bears played good football yet this year? I don't know. I haven't seen too much. I'm actually a little bit disappointed with the defense, too. Not saying the defense is playing bad football. This is a top 10 defense. This is a defense that gives people fear. But we haven't seen the levels of consistency or even, like, dude, the Bears got really good players. They got Allen Robinson. They got Khalil Mack. But where's the star power? Where's the big plays? Where's the people helping Nick Foles? Maybe the Tyreek Cohen injury was just a bit too much for this team. I do think there's a little bit to the Buccaneers looking ahead to the Sunday night game. I do think there's a little bit of something here. I think Drew Brees is going to be ready for this game. I think Drew Brees is sick of Tom Brady. He doesn't want the Buccaneers taking over his division. I think this is going to be personal for Drew Brees. I'm taking the Buccaneers to win in the cover. I'm pretty damn sure about it. But Drew Brees isn't going down without a fight. Tampa's going to have to play good to get this. Tampa can't come in and play average and expect to cover the spread. No way. No way. Saints are going to be ready. Saints are going to be ready. Joe Young. I think Texans -6 is a money pick. I don't necessarily. Yeah, I like what you're doing here. It's just Houston's inconsistent as well. But I actually do like that. That's a game no one's really been talking about. I did pick Houston to win in the cover. I believe so. I believe so. Donovan White. Is it fair to say the Jets defense is better than the Seahawks? No. Because the Jets, they don't make enough big plays on defense. The Seahawks defense actually makes big plays. And I feel like the Seahawks linebacking core is definitely helps in the run game. Like they were able to shut down the 49ers last week, which is no easy feat. I don't care who's playing running back for the 49ers. It's no easy feat. But the Jet, I will respond to your question in a different way. I do think the Jets defense is better than people think or give it credit for. This Jets defense has actually played pretty good some games. Like against the Bills, they were on the field the whole game. They got turnovers. They got hits on Josh Allen. They came close to good interceptions. Like this Jets defense is better than people think. Michael Rodriguez, that Bears run game is horrendous. I agree. Thomas Cross, do you show your bets? Yeah. Anyone who's followed this podcast a long time has seen my bets, my betting slip. I post my bets on Patreon. It's just $5 a month. I mean, $5 a month will let you see every single bet I make, whether it be soccer, NFL, pretty much everything I do. That Patreon, it's a cool system, and it helps me keep running, man. Because in the off season, I'm not going to get the YouTube revenue. In the off season, we just don't get as much views because the NFL sits at home for 6 months. So there's no games to talk about. There's no money to win. I do bet soccer, and I'm very good at betting soccer. And I would have to say I'm very good at betting NFL, but I would say soccer is my thing. So I'm very good at betting soccer. So you get that in my Patreon too. So I think it's a good deal. Okay. Juan Cortez, do you use geometria when picking? Are you saying geometry? Are you saying geometry in Portuguese or Spanish? Dude, I don't use a lot of stats. I use the eye test. I watch a lot of games. I watch a lot of sports, and that's one reason some people will say, Lawson, why don't you have a green screen? Why don't you create a great background? Why are you recording in any environment? Because, dude, my job is to watch games. My job is to make money gambling. I do this to educate you guys and because you guys come with good ideas. And I like talking to you guys. And yes, I do make a little bit of revenue from YouTube. Nothing to write home about. Nothing to start paying bills. But I pay bills with the gambling. The videos are just a supplement. The videos are honestly something I've had a passion for a long time. And listen, I understand stats. I understand statistics. But in the NFL and soccer, betting with these two things, you'll come out broke pretty quick. Some people use statistics to bet futures in the NFL. That's the only scenario I see it working. Stats can help you, but the eye test, watching film, it's not glory. It's a lot easier scrolling on the internet, and then you can look smart on Twitter when you say, well, actually, the Lions have the 7th best defense this year. When, what does that fucking mean? Does anyone think there's only 6 defenses in this league better than the Lions this year? You guys know what I'm saying? There's a stat that can say anything, that can back up whatever point you want to make. But what people don't want to see is when you come home from a long day's work and you're watching 3 NFL games on your laptop at 2 a.m. and your girl's getting mad at you because you're waking her up because you're getting an extra film studies. That's the type of shit that they don't want to show you. I have to watch a lot of games, especially with the soccer. Yeah. So yeah, that's where we're at. Okay. Christopher Strong, buy points and take my Colts. Could you give us an argument why? Leave your Gmail. And if anyone wants to come on, leave your Gmail. But Joe Young, I think Minshew not playing is actually a positive for the Jacksonville Jaguars rather than a negative. It really is, dude, because he's turning it over so much, and he sells a lot of false hope, and I think false hope is the worst thing you can get in this. It's just the worst thing. Andre Wilson, let's get this money. You heard New York, yeah, let's get it. Let's get it. That Seahawks game's gonna pay out, man. I'm feeling that Seahawks game. Sam Corfield, Broncos +4, Seahawks -3.5, Raiders plus and win. I feel good about this, but I really want you to find another piece of steak to eat this week other than the Broncos. Because Sam, I don't know if you've been listening to this podcast a long time, but if you haven't noticed, we've won a lot of money betting the Broncos this year when everyone thinks they're going to lose. Be a little bit cautious this week. Be a little bit cautious. Eventually, Cinderella does get called home, and she has to return to Stiletto or whatever it is. Enrique Gonzalez. Hey, Lawson, big fan, Hermano. Do you think the Dolphins' defense will stop Murray? Not really. I don't think it's going to be the shootout everyone thinks, but I think this game is more about what Tua does against this Arizona defense. I'm not too optimistic about Tua. Tua's got potential. Tua's got big play potential. We know he can add some explosion, but I am a little bit nervous what he does. I think the Dolphins defense has a pretty good day. I don't think they have a dominant day, but I think this game is more about what Tua does against this Arizona defense. Because we've seen this Arizona defense, we've seen teams completely decapitate them this year. And also, we've seen some games where Arizona has played good defense. Carlos Elizondo, Washington Steelers and Arizona, my parlay. I would just caution you about the Washington one, but I understand if you think Washington's going to win. Andy Garcia, do you bet Mexican soccer? No, in the past I did. I actually used to love the Mexican League like 9 years ago before I got into the Brazilian League in South America. I love Latin American soccer because it's so fucking technical. It's there's something special to it. But no, I don't. But I heard betting Mexican soccer is rather risky. I just heard there's a lot of fixed matches, but I don't know enough about it. Steven Bradshaw, don't forget the Saints running up the score and laughing on the sideline week 1. You're right, man. Because the Saints do this to people. They like rubbing it in. They were like, and Sean Payton, I remember before the Minnesota Miracle, the Minneapolis Miracle, he was talking shit to Vikings fans. Like he was literally yelling into the crowd. At times, Sean Payton on the Saints team, they seem a little bit dysfunctional. What's my favorite soccer tournament to bet on? Brazilian Serie A, the Brazilian First Division. I bet a lot of Brazilian Serie B as well. I like that. I also like betting Libertadores. I like betting Liga NOS, the Portuguese league. I made a lot of money betting the German league during COVID, but I haven't gotten back to that. Not enough time in the day. NFL takes it. But once COVID ends, I'm going to start getting back to betting the German league. I used to bet a lot of Europa League too When I first started betting, I would bet lots of Europa League for whatever reason. Daniel Jones is a turnover waiting to happen. I agree. What's up, John? I got your Patreon. I love your videos. Salute, brother. Thank you. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate it. Let's get this money. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Hit the like button. Send in your questions. I'm getting through these questions. If I missed it, just write it again. Ravens a good money pick from Andrew Novoa. I think so. They're not my biggest money pick of the week, but they'll be going on a parlay. I do. I like what they're doing. Chad Zuka, New York Jets, rain, Jacksonville rain and some rain, windy in KC. Depends how windy. Bueno, now some money, 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 money. Thank you, Bueno. I absolutely love your name, by the way. Yeah, what is Gematria? He should come on here. He should leave his email. He should come on and explain it to us. My doing. Lawson is legit. Since I knew his channel, I won 70%. Thank you, Lawson. Appreciate it. 70% is pretty good. I've had some fans say they've done that too. They know how to weed out when I'm bullshitting too. Because I can't be right about everything, right? It's only natural. Best said, yo, I'm glad you finally got to catch a live show. I'm glad. It's always difficult finding the appropriate times. On YouTube, they take a long time. Like when you do a live stream, they take a long time to like upload the video to my actual feed. So that's why I like to start early, like 4:35 in the afternoon. So on Saturday, the people who missed it, it'll be uploaded for them. Yo, what up, Cody Dunbar? What up, man? What up, Daniel Morris? Cody Dunbar in the house. Samuel Flores. I bet Green Bay, Kansas City, Pittsburgh, Patriots, all money line. I need cash out. Yeah, you're good. You're good. Although the Patriots on that money line, man, you're going to be sweating. That's going to be a one possession game, my friend. Argenis Rosales. Bro, you think the Raiders are free money this week? Yo, no. Last week was close to free money. But I like them this week. I think they're going to win. I think it's a money pick. I think if you made a bet on them this week, it's not the worst thing you can do. But we've been riding this train quite some time. And the train can only shoo for so long. Although I think there's still plenty of weeks where we're going to get good bets on the Raiders. I don't think it's going to be easy as the Browns, but I think they'll beat the Chargers. Chargers have been playing good football at times, but I think this Raiders defense has improved, and that was one thing I was echoing before the Browns game. I really like this Raiders defense. I think they're improved. I don't think they're a sexy unit. I don't think they're anything to write home about, but I think they're improved and they play good quality football. And Carr's making better decisions this year, so I like that. I got a super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Revenant wide receiver, you give so much. I wanted to share with you. When Pitt is on the road and opponents average 35 plus passes a game, under has hit the past 23 straight games. Hope this helps you. Makes sense because Tomlin and this pass defense is good, and they play a lot of different coverages, and they also got some ball hogs in that secondary. So I actually believe that's a good stat. Yo, thank you, sir. Revenant wide receiver. Thank you for the donation. I really appreciate it. Hank Johnson, new subscriber. Share the videos with your friend, Hank, and make sure you hit that like button. And Hank, make sure you hit that notification button. Zamora 690. How do you bet? Do you do money or money line parlay? Do you do most of the time? Zamora, most of the time, I'll bet singles. Like I'll bet spreads a game. Sometimes I do money line. For instance, when I put big money on Tampa Bay during the first quarter against the Giants, I did it on the money line. If I'm going to put big money, normally on the money line. For instance, when I put big money on the Broncos to cover against the Patriots, I didn't bet outright, but I bet the spread. It was +9. So I don't do a lot of parlays. I'll put like $5 on a parlay, but I do it as a mental exercise. I do it to organize my thoughts for this show. I don't do parlays to make money, so I bet singles. I do one teaser a week. Sometimes it'll be a 4 or 5 team teaser, and I'll put like 40 or $50 on it. And we've actually won quite a bit this year. Check out that teaser video I do every week. Um, so yeah, that's how I bet. I do future bets, but you guys don't like the future bets. You guys don't like waiting. So that's why I don't talk about them a lot here. I don't do a lot of player props, although there is a company, they reached out to me. They want to sponsor the show. They have an app about player props. So I'm going to talk with them Monday, see maybe if they'll give me some money. Then we'll start talking about player props in the video. Kansas City or Steelers to score every quarter. I would go Kansas City. Although be careful with that because both could be blowouts, my friend. And you know what happens when you get to blowouts. Matthew Munoz. Hey Lawson, can you post parlays on Patreon? And how's the soccer game looking? Just woke up. It was 0-0 at the 20-minute mark. I'm gonna actually get off of here soon because I want to watch it. But I'm gonna stay on at like 5:45. So although I really want to watch that, it's looking good though. Um, Cody Dunbar says I got 6 parlay tickets this week. You're never going to listen to me, Cody. But I love you anyways. I love you anyways, but fuck, man. The Daily Grinder. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. Get those notifications. Turn on those notifications. All right, guys. All right. My Don. Lawson, how do you do a donation? Send a super chat. Like on the YouTube chat, there'll be like a money symbol. And click that money symbol, then you can send me a donation. Or you can join my Patreon. And the link for the Patreon is in the description. Or you can send it through super chat on YouTube. I would really appreciate it. Best bet, do you do many in-game bets? They have treated me real well this year. Yes. I do. I think I do like at least one in-game bet on the NFL per week. Some weeks I don't. Some weeks I'll make a lot. But I need to be watching a game and I need to be extremely focused. Don't do in-game bets if you're watching like 3 or 4 games at once. And also, I love in-game betting for soccer. I think it's really effective. What's an NFL conspiracy theory? That the refs fix games Vegas tells them to. Brandon Stroud. I love your videos, man. Is it good practice to check how much money percent is bet on each team? No. I went on a rant at the beginning of this video. Brandon, I don't have the energy right now to go on this rant again, but please check like the first 15 minutes of this video. I go on a rant, and I feel like that scared money talking to you. Don't worry about what's going on the outside. Yes, you have to work. The only thing you need to worry about what's going on the outside is that point spread Vegas gives you. But the things you need to worry about is you need to watch your film. You need to know the matchups. You need to know the injury report, and you need to trust yourself. And when it's time to go full board, when it's time to put the money up, you have to go there because I just feel like you guys are looking at that shit questioning yourselves. And I think and you should always question yourself, but you should question yourself with what's happening on the field. Are there any good opinions or arguments that will make my bet go wary? Those are the questions. Like when you start thinking about how much money was put on the Colts, like it doesn't make sense. Like an analogy I used in the first 10 minutes was, okay, I have a rich friend. He put $20K on the Bills to win the Super Bowl this year. Okay. Are you going to go bet the Bills to win the Super Bowl because you think he knows something? There's probably a millionaire this year who bet the Colts. Actually, there was a millionaire this year who bet the Colts to win the Super Bowl. He put over $1 million on it. Does that change anything I'm doing week to week? Should we? Oh, Colts are going to win now because some dude put up a lot of money. Like, no. That was my point, Brandon. Ryan, don't watch too much college football. It's just in the past I used to, but I'm not an expert on it, so I don't want to give you bad advice. Lawson, does AB score Sunday night? Yeah, he does. I'm ready for AB, and I know some of you guys don't like him, and that's fine. I understand why, but dude, Brady to AB, come on, man. Is there anything better? Like, I'm so pumped for Sunday night, and I'm not even a Buccaneer fan. I'm just enjoying Brady's last days in this league, and him throwing to Mike Evans and AB. Man, that's some good stuff. If that doesn't get you excited, I don't know, man. Laugh out loud. I've been betting $5 for 5+ team parlays for Lawson every week since week 2. Still don't listen. It's fine because you're actually gambling responsibly. And that's how I grew up gambling. My dad would just give me a ticket. I'd bet 4 or 5 teams. He put $5 on. If I won, I got like 55 or 60 back. It's fine. That's healthy. That's working your mind. But when people are throwing like 150 on a 17 parlay, like I get really frustrated because I actually care about you guys. Like seriously, I actually want to see money go in your pocket. So I take this shit very, very seriously. But maybe I'm the only one taking it seriously. If you're doing 17 parlays, putting $200 on it, and you guys will go like 6-1 and you did everything right. You did all the legwork, and I'm here collecting the chips, and you come away with nothing when you did the same amount of work as me. Come on, guys. John, tell me I'm not the only one who thinks Chicago's going to cover that 6.5 against Tennessee. No, I picked the Bears. The Bears are just going to hang around in that game, and people are overrating Tennessee. I like Tennessee, but we have to remember this Tennessee team might be more inconsistent than the Bears. The Bears are consistently bad, but we've seen this Tennessee team just they stop playing some games. You can be bad at times during games. You can be terrible, but they should stop playing. Notre Dame +5 versus Clemson. I like Clemson to win and cover that spread, even with Trevor Lawrence out. I did live bet a Clemson game last week. I got paid. Boston College was up like 14 at halftime. I had to bet that. If Stafford plays this weekend, they should handle the Vikings. I don't think so. I think it's going to be a close game, but I do think it turns into a shootout. Rail chant, facts you speaking, bro. I'm trying, man. I'm trying. Okay, Andy Munoz, the Brady Bunch with AB at Tom's house. Hell yeah. Like when I was thinking about Antonio Brown living with Tom Brady's wife and his kids, like that shit just made me laugh. Like I thought it was funny. All right, guys. I'm going to get off now. Make sure you hit that like button before you leave. Hit that like button, subscribe, turn on your notifications. That's the big thing this week. Turn on your notifications, subscribe, hit the like button, share the videos. Actually, let me answer Brian P's question before I go. Lawson, question, do you like these picks? Giants +13.5. I love that. Indy +13.5. I like it, not love it. Buffalo +13.5. Why can't we change that the other way around on Seattle? But yeah, it's not bad. I like it. Chicago +15.5. Yeah, I like it. New England +2.5. Yeah, I like it, but I think that game's more tricky than people think. Pittsburgh -4.5. Love it. Carolina +21.5. Like it. It will probably happen, but you're running a risk on some of those. Subscribe, hit the like button, share the videos. Thank you, guys.